Nico, thank you so much for joining us here at SuperReturn International. It's brilliant to have you here in the studio in Berlin. Obviously, you've transitioned from Formula One world champion racing driver to now a very successful venture capitalist. Tell me about that and what your journey has been like and how that transition's been.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it's great to be here. You've become number one in the world here with your event, so this is amazing. The quality of people here has been exceptional for me to experience, very inspirational. And yeah, I've made this transition. I stopped 2016. 5 minutes after winning the World Championship, I was like, that's it, I'm out of here, which for me was the right decision at the time. I had achieved my childhood dream, winning that championship once, and then embarked on a new journey. And first, it's like a journey of discovery because I have no idea what am I going to do next with my life. Where's my passion going to be? Because everything as an athlete is just so focused. It's just winning that next race, strategizing how to win that next race. And that's it. There's nothing else in life. So it really was an exploratory exercise. I did many things, and I've finally landed on what I'm best at, which is venture capital, and removed everything else, fully committed now, and it's a very exciting journey.
Tell me about that. What is it you're looking for and what are you most excited about in that world, having transitioned from the highs of that adrenaline you got from a sport, being at the heights of the sport as you were?
Yeah.
What's the equivalent now for what you're looking for in your venture world?
I look for a competition, love to compete, love to win, and venture is very dynamic, it's a very energetic space to be active in, incredibly, it's fascinating. The ideas that some of these incredible founders are coming up with and building and that are going to impact our lives, it's so cool to be deeply involved in this space. Then I love the community that is there and that I'm able to bring in and unite around what we're building, even bringing in some of my old friends from Formula One and exciting them about this journey is also super nice. So those are two things that I'm really enjoying. Yeah.
You talked there about bringing people in from Formula One.
Yeah.
What qualities have you brought from your experience and your talent and your skill there? What sort of qualities have you brought now into the investment world, and what would your teams that you're talking about translating there as well, what qualities do they bring?
Yeah, well, if you look at the participants here, I'm sure there's many competitive people. But I would dare to say, I think we're a little bit more competitive than even that. Because us athletes, it's really like obsessively competitive, and second place does not exist. Like, it's just first place. So bringing that, I think, is valuable. Then also, I lost 90% of my races. I only won 10% of the time. So I've mostly lost in my career. So I am like super fearless. I do not care about losing. So I'm very happy to embark on these projects that only have a 10% chance of succeeding. But then if they do succeed, the outcome is enormous. I can do that, no problem. And I'll be flat out committed, not scared. And in fact, Rosberg Ventures is a fruit of this kind of challenge that we took, because it only had a 10% chance of succeeding. Because you can imagine, here's one of the biggest German families, and in the door walks in the F1 driver and is asking for 10 million check. They laugh at you. They're like, I mean, we're talking to all the best managers in the world here in SuperReturn, and you walk in our door and want 10 million. Like, that's what the hell are you doing?
So what is it about you, Nico, that makes them hand over that check?
They appreciate the fact that they believe that what I'm going to do, I'm going to win. That's the starting point. There's a lot of respect for that, for us athletes, that they were like, okay, these guys, they don't accept second place. That's the starting point. And then you have to, of course, build it up and make it tangible and build the trust. It takes time. I have to develop my personal brand, from the driver to the venture capitalist, who's really building expertise, able to create value. That takes a lot of time, and you need to build it with substance. You need to be helping founders. You need to be creating real value for families that are joining our journey, making it very tangible, what we're doing. We're building F1 events. We have the best of the VC community coming to our F1 events, hosting them, building those relationships, making friends, and all that is like these proof points. And you need to build that up and make it obvious that you can succeed with all these different proof points that you're building up, and it's a journey.
And you talked about team that are around you, because obviously it was a learning curve for you.
Yeah.
You had to surround yourself with people that really kind of knew this business and offered their expertise.
Yeah.
What would you say, and obviously you've seen the importance of teams in Formula One as well, what would you say are key to those teams and that team dynamic that really makes it successful, and what translates from Formula One to what you're doing now?
Yeah, team is also, team is essential to have success. And again, as an athlete, we know that better than most other people. And I was a CEO in my role as an athlete already, because I had to organize the team around me that I would be able to extract 100% out of my performance. So I had around me, I had my physio, I had my psychologist, I had my Harvard sleep professor for my sleep routine, and he built a program for me that I had 0 jet lag for an entire season. Not a single moment of jet lag, traveling from Japan to South America to Australia, 0 jet lag. Like, this is really powerful, and as a CEO, you're the one who's organizing that. And I was, of course, an absolute perfectionist, working on every single detail. It's called marginal gains, so adding up those small details, and being very curious also, learning more all the time. How can I possibly improve and become a world champion and win? And my rival, we need to remember, was the greatest of all time. We were teammates, so I was up against the greatest driver of all time. That's not an easy feat. Plus, he'd been destroying me since we're like 13 years old. He's always been first, I've always been second. So it was a really long process to find my 110 performance. And one of the examples, I had a black helmet, because the helmet paint I figured out was 80 grams. And weight is absolutely critical in our sport. And it was all about dropping as much weight as possible, special diet, all these things, and everything added up.
Yeah, so looking for every sort of opportunity to raise the game, and I guess that's very much the case with what you're doing now.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
So I'd be interested to see if this crowd who are here from all around the world would be very interested to chat to you about the jet lag aspect that you talked about there. But moving on, I mean, what do you see now as the sort of things you're most interested in terms of the investment space? What's really exciting you at Rosberg Ventures at the moment?
Just one more, since you touched on the jet lag, you can now find out yourself, because my Harvard sleep professor has built his own app around this concept, and it already has 1.3 million downloads. It's going viral online. I'm not involved yet, but I'm speaking to him. I'm going to hope to be involved, because I should be involved. So I'm going to get involved. But it's called Time Shifter.
So there's one opportunity.
And a lot of people here are using it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's very, very interesting. Now I forgot your question.
What else are you honing in on at Rosberg Ventures at the moment, other than your sleep
We're
app?
building a VC firm, and there's various strategies. It starts as a fund of funds, primarily committing to the inaccessible best VC funds in the world. We're building that access. Then you go into co-investing, direct investments, again into the generational companies of our time at growth stage. Again, totally inaccessible, and we're building that. And then there will be further strategies that we're going to build on top. And we've already, we long passed 100 million in ARR already, AUM, assets under management, and we'll be accelerating quickly from here.
And with that in mind, are there any particular sectors that you're interested in at the moment that you're most focused on, and what are you excited about?
We're taking a very generalist approach, because who are we to say which sector is going to have the greatest outcomes on a 10-year horizon in 10 years' time? Very hard, especially at grassroots idea stage. It's very hard to predict, so we diversify across all the sectors. And what am I personally most excited about? Of course, I love climate tech. Personally invested in some companies that are doing vertically integrated solar energy out of the UK, unicorn by now. So those are some exciting sectors. Without saying the obvious, robotics, of course, is coming through very quickly now. It's going to be enormous.
Lots of conversations at this conference about artificial intelligence and how that's going to disrupt markets. I think there's one company you're involved in that are looking at linguistic models and things like that too.
I've invested in a roll-up strategy as well, especially fiscal advisory firms, because PE has been doing roll-ups a lot, but there's a different opportunity now for VC firms to get involved, because the VC firms, they have the relationships with all the AI applications, and can custom make AI applications very easily for their specific roll-up strategy. And that's a new angle that they're all, or more and more, getting excited about. and we're seeing there's already some examples that have come through. One is called Crete. It's the 18th biggest accounting firm in the US now already. It's a VC roll-up strategy. It's really going very, very quickly, and they can increase productivity per person by 25% pretty much instantly by deploying this AI application. So it's cool new things coming through.
And you're used to living life at high speed, so all of the fast-moving nature of this industry is
is not fast-moving compared to my fast-moving. This is like slow motion.
So just looking forward, when we started speaking, you said that you've been really impressed with the quality of people that are here. What will you take away from this in this forum? And you'll obviously have lots of conversations. People want to talk to Nico Rosberg.
No, I mean, I'm very happy to hear how some of the largest corporates also in Europe are now putting a lot of effort into bringing the supply chain locally and not getting supply from China or US. That is going to be an incredible dynamic for the European markets. It's very, very interesting. Of course, stating the obvious, how defense is even going to be able to, many people in our backbone of the industry in the mobility space or automotive are going to be able to be repurposed into defense. That's a big hope for our automotive sector, which is definitely contracting.
There's a real crossover there.
Yeah, so that could be an enormous hope for us, so things like that I find very interesting here.
And presumably you're going to keep your interest going with Formula One. You're still connected into that industry. You're still very passionate about the sport. There's a huge amount of sports investing happening at the moment.
That's really taking off. Even F1, I'm hearing valuations. I mean, some of the lesser teams are have passed the billion dollar mark and at 1.4 billion, and the mid-level teams are at 2 billion, and top teams are trading at 6 billion. It's really phenomenal how that has become an asset class and an investable asset, these teams, which were making huge losses at the time. I remember Mercedes, when I was racing, was making 200 million in losses every year, which was being funded by Mercedes essentially. And now it's like a massively profitable company with 300 million in annual profits.
And a huge part of that is tapping into the fan base and understanding what those Formula One fans are looking for in terms of product and accessibility.
Yeah, so it's different forms of content now that have really energized and grown a new fan base, because it's even, I go to America and it's teenage girls that are asking me for autographs. And in my time, it was just like 50-year-old plus who were asking me for autographs. Now it's teenage girls that are following the sport. It's an incredible transition. It's amazing. The new drivers are, I think, exciting to follow also. They're very social media savvy. They're gamers even, so you have all the gaming community coming in. Everybody can watch them game every day and at home, it's like crazy. So I think that's it's a cool change. And so the content form, of course, has been Netflix, which is like a docu-sport series, which has worked really well because they managed to make it a reality TV show, capturing the characters in their authenticity. And not just, hey, this race was won by Hamilton, that race Verstappen, not just documenting on a season, but reality TV show. And that's been what's made that so viral. And then short form content, social media, they're taking a very smart approach, and they have the highest engagement rate out of any sport globally.
So just finally, what do you hope to take away from SuperReturn International when you go home? What will you take away?
Well, I've been very diligent with writing my notes. Every time I speak to someone, I turn around and I write notes. Because but that's so valuable. Like you lose, otherwise you're wasting your time here, because you'll lose 80% of what you've just chatted about is gone forever. So I'm like, right. So my notes are like, it's incredible. I don't know how I'm gonna ever repurpose those notes into our CRM. That's gonna be a mess. But they're there anyways. So I have everything jotted down. Every single insight that I got is on paper. So I take away so much learnings, connections, ideas for new strategies. To move forward faster, because I'm always there. How can I accelerate? I want to accelerate. I'm going too slow. I want to accelerate faster.
Why does that not surprise me?
That's always the idea.
Nico, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us today. Great to talk to you.
Thank you.